All right, so my name is Marshall Jones. I'm the Executive Director of the Wine and Food Foundation of Texas. We're here with Keeper Collection today, talking about Somms Under Fire. And with me, I have two of our most recent winners of Somms Under Fire. I have June Rodil, our winner in 2012, and I have Scott Oda, our winner in 2013. And for winning Somms Under Fire, one of the things they get is an internship in Burgundy with Jasper Morris, who's a master of wine. And so we're here today just to discuss that internship a little bit and kind of see what they learned for us. Scott, I'll start with you as the most recent winner and having just gone to Burgundy. Tell me a little bit about your internship, what you learned, what you did.
Got off the train to the minute I left was just absolutely top notch. There's a lot to learn when you're tasting with some of the best winemakers in the region, and having someone like Jasper be able to interpret all the information is just absolutely priceless.
Got off the train, and you were there for what, 7 days?
It was actually, I stayed a little bit longer. I ended up staying about 2 weeks.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
They put you to work?
Put it to work, but I mean, what is work when you're drinking, fantastic aged Burgundies and talking to winemakers and crushing cheese every day.
June, tell us your experience similar to Scott.
I actually, though, interned with Ellen Meadows from Berghound, and it was amazing. It was definitely an experience that you can't replicate in any way. You get to really delve deep into the culture, not only like the wines, but why they are so great, why the people who make them are fantastic as well, and how it translates into the wine.
Valuable part of this internship for your job?
I guess being able to have an in-depth knowledge of vintages. I think when I look at myself in terms as a wine buyer, I'm a little bit more on the younger side. So to have access to these wines, from the 80s and 90s, 2000s, and even some of the winemakers opened wines from the 40s. It was just these experiences I've never been able to have.
What would you say was the most valuable part of your internship?
I totally agree with Scott about the vintages. I also exceptionally enjoyed learning each parcel. And also understanding that translation into the wines, because it's very rare that you get to taste parcel to parcel to parcel from one winemaker, and also being able to taste them in barrel and then translating them into a bottle, and then coming back home and tasting that same bottle and seeing how it's evolved, not only from vintage to vintage, but from the ground to the barrel to the bottle, from France into the United States.
So the last question is, what's your probably your most favorite memory of your internship, June?
Did a retrospective with Dominique Lafon. We opened 93 to 2009 in an intimate setting with collectors, and having his knowledge of each vintage, each parcel of Camp Lafon wines was phenomenal. It was insane, and he's so honest too. Like, I hate this wine, and you're looking at a bottle of a wine that you're like, oh my god, this is the most amazing wine ever. He's like, nah, I like it so much.
My memory, looking back upon it, everything was the final seminar we did with Jasper. It was, and especially being a wine buyer, it was probably the most eye-opening for me. It was a series called Pretenders, and what they did is they take an absolutely iconic vintage like the 99 vintage of Burgundy, and they compared 8 of some of the best Premier Cru vineyards from around the region, and which one do you think at value level could be priced alongside Grand Cru. So we were tasting like Amarous and Lacroix to Rougien to Clos Saint Jacques, and these are the top producers, Catillard, Armand, Rousseau, and tasting them side by side and seeing this, not only the stylistic differences but from the same vintage, and then from
the vintages. I also exceptionally enjoyed learning each parcel, and also understanding that translation into the wines, because it's very rare that you get to taste parcel to parcel to parcel from one wine.
Y'all kind of both said the same thing, but I think the one thing people don't understand about sommeliers, wine buyers, is we don't get the opportunity to just try old vintages of wine every day. It's not like people are just walking around opening up 83 Burgundy and they're like, oh, let's just try that again today.
I think being able to go on this journey really has been so amazing, and I think a lot of people wonder, like, how do you apply that into your everyday life? There's this mysticism behind it, right? Like, there's people who are like, oh, Burgundy, it's difficult, and I don't know what I'm looking at, it's this little parcel of land, and what does that even mean? But being able to look at it and experience it on my own, I hope that I can translate it to guests.
So thank you both for sharing with us today with our members and friends of Somms Under Fire and the Keeper Collection and Wine and Food Foundation of Texas. And we're very glad both of you not only competed but won.
Yeah, us too.
It was no surprise to us that either of you won, trust me. But with that said, you know, there are a couple of thoughts you would say. We're looking for more competitors always. You know, is this something someone should do as a sommelier? And if so, kind of how could they prepare for it? What would be the kind of, I don't know, the end game here?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's just an absolutely outstanding opportunity to showcase what we do on a daily basis. From both of us, our backgrounds being working in restaurants, that tie into food is so important and such an integral part of what we do. When customers ask us, well, what are you going to enjoy tonight? One thing that I think is, looking back on at least the reward of it from winning the competition, is I always try to think that, you know, wines in essence have stories, and the fact that now, because of our love for Burgundy, and then now we've been there to have these intimate experiences with these winemakers, we can better translate these wines to guests.
Any thoughts for competitors?
You should do it. The end. I mean, Jean-Charles from Burgundy is not coming to Austin, Texas anytime soon, so you need to go there. These are experiences that, like, I can't go to Burgundy on my own and make this happen, make those tastings happen, and you know, you can't find these bottles of wine. So yeah, there's no question, you should do it. It's fantastic.
So we should say thanks to Diane.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks to Diane,
Thanks, Diane.
and to Keeper Collection.
Great, thank you very much.
I do! Yes, I have it! So it's actually cooler vintage, and it's a collector's vintage, in my opinion, because it's really, really clean. It's very acid-driven and structure-driven, so great to age, but as well, like, lots of zip, lots of zest to it, not blousy, not buxom, so really great with lighter, delicate food.
And he's like, he literally walks over to me, and if you ever get a chance to meet David, he's just the kindest person, again, also very, very charming. And he literally walks over to me, he's like watching me struggle, and he's like tapping me on the shoulder, he's like, Scott, dinner's at 8, we're not going to make it. And I'm just like sitting there like halfway, like Jasper's laughing, and I'm just sitting here with this awesome, like, he's like, just pull it. So
and it's not about force, it's just about making contact with that weakest point, and then it's just going to make a clean break under the pressure. Some people, and I don't like this technique, so I'm not going to show you how to do it, some people will completely remove the cage. I don't suggest doing that. At that point, it's a live weapon, if you will. Now, yeah, I mean, it's really not a matter of anything except for just making contact. So we'll just do it on the count of 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's what not to do.
You should do it.